Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody. All right. Well, since we've had some actions and goings forwards, I decided I'd go ahead and hop in here and just open the floor up to see if we needed a live chat. So today I'm just going to hang out and see who wants to come and play. I'm not too sure when people like to come on. And I'm not even sure if there are other people that are maybe doing shows right now during this time frame. I know sometimes whenever I come on, it'll be a little earlier in the afternoon. However, um, yeah, anyways, I just thought I'd try this for an impromptu just to see what we get, just to see who I might catch this time of day. And if anybody might be interested in some energy healing for themselves, their furry or feathered family members. Um, I know earlier we had quite a few people in the week that had different, I won't really say ailments, but different challenges in and around the body. And at the end of the day, a lot of that is just simply stories. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I know somebody's coming and looking, and I'm not sure if they're able to come and hang out with me or not. On the back end of this, you would think that being able to change things around for preparing a live stream would be pretty easy, but yeah, StreamYard had me a little bit challenged. I was actually going to come on about half an hour ago, and it's taken me some time to pull together a little bit of slides, and they don't let you put on your little information or anything before you just leap in here if you're just doing like a quick live chat. So basically what this live stream is, if you're new to me, my name is Debbie Dement, and I've been doing energy healing for an extremely long time. And in 2003, I learned hands-on shiatsu from Horse and Rider. And then I moved in 2008 to doing hands-off. I learned remotely with my heart horse Galahad. And so what I do is I balance the energy in and around the body. And you're going to see that these are the exact same meridians that are used if you've ever gone to acupuncture or an acupressure session. That's going to be the same thing then that gets used for that. And so what I do is I reach out into the quantum field and I actually manipulate the energy around that. And the other thing that I do is you'll also see my Huna essence on there. That's Huna Kamaroha. And this is the last week that we have for the Motu, that's the month of Fatura. And so this is the essence of the falcon, which is the essence of purification. And so if it is August 1st through the 28th, then that is the sign of Fatura. And then next week we will be headed into quite a few energy changes. And I do know that in the Gregorian astrology, we have literally just entered into Virgo, which is a completely different sign. And whatever viewer was looking there earlier, I didn't mean to scare you off. But I do know that people oftentimes will tune in and then they can't actually do much of anything because they're at work or they're busy picking things up, picking people up. Busy, busy, busy after work. So I thought I would give it a try just to see if this would be a good time frame in the future to try to schedule, because I do know that people have different times of the day that seem to be a better time slot. And usually I'm on in the mornings. So we'll just see if anybody wants to come and hang out. And even though I do energy balancing quite a lot, we just usually wander around. Sometimes I'll be doing different energy techniques for Lemuria, and then other times we'll be chit-chatting about different things that are coming through. I will say this week has been quite different as far as the energy changes. It's definitely interesting. Hi, Lauren. How are you today? I don't know why I keep calling you Lori whenever your name is Loren. You would think that by now I would know that difference. But yeah, I'm glad to see you here. Mostly I just decided to do an impromptu show, and as I was just talking to myself, it's lovely to see you today. So I'm not really driven to do anything in specific. It's just one of those deals where I just wanted to hop on to see the different time slots and everything. And I will probably be dipping in and doing a little bit of energy work, but mostly just wanted to sit on here and chit chat with people and see what they might be needing. Hoping your afternoon and your day has been really nice. Yeah, it used to be Lori. I have no idea why it changed it in the chat. Okay, cool. Then I don't feel so bad about it. Because on my chat it actually says Loren. So, but great. Nice to know that I haven't been misnaming you. Remind me where you're at. Are you over on the eastern seaboard where they're having the Hurricane Aaron coming through? And I have done a little bit of energy work around that. Hopefully it'll mind its business, but we're headed into hurricane season too, so part of the usual ecology. Oh, cool. Just north of Houston. Okay, great. So you're not having to worry about like storm surge or anything in the Gulf? Because I know sometimes that's a thing too. Man, this time of year, I bet that's hotter than a firecracker down there. Sorry, I'm actually energetically tapping into the field here. So I'm just kind of feeling around, seeing what things are doing. Not used to doing quite as much chit-chatting into the void as they call it. But yeah, I had an impulse to actually hop on here in the afternoon, so we'll just see. We'll just see how people like this time slot, and if not, that's fine too. I just had a few minutes, so thought I'd pop in here. I don't really have any messages to share at the moment, other than, like I said, the energy has been very tumultuous this week. Wow, that's kind of surprising actually for Texas. It's been better this year, not had any triple digits so far, which is almost an improbability because usually in July, what happens is as you move towards what is called the Lion's Gate in Gregorian astrology, what happens is called the dog days of summer. And so Sirius actually rises above and joins with the sun. Hey, hey, Melon, how you doing? So yeah, it's a little surprising that we haven't seen the triple digit heats. Long time no see. Long, long, long time no see. Yeah, the energy is very high. It's been like that for a while. Hi, Kat. Lovely to see you today. Yeah, it's been the energy, and it's kind of like today. The air feels kind of brittle. The sky looks brittle for lack of anything specific to to call it. And I know for us, I'm on the Oregon coast, so usually we're in clouds. And today, and especially tomorrow, they're calling for 81-degree heat, which I sincerely hope will not happen. We don't want it to be that hot. That's ridiculous, especially on a day of Toho, which is celebration. So, actually, that was a fun one. I started working with the energy of Toho, which is the Lemurian term for the humpback whale, and that is tomorrow. It is the name that we use for Fridays. The day of celebration is Toho. And today actually would be considered Tika, which is the day of peace, day of the special fish. Heavens knows we could use a little bit of peace. Yeah, it's interesting. In my area, we're having a kestrel who is deciding that he wants to dine on my songbirds, which is so not on the menu. So it's been a real high charged week for sure, energy wise. And I get it. They're looking for an easy target to eat. So, but there's plenty of other things that they can do. We'll go ahead and just do some Lemurian codes right quick then, if everybody would like. Tihe ori ora mahakawa tahi ite ingowa te tau iri te o te wana waiua tapu kita. Ite ingowa ta whenui tarani te kitau waiua tapu kita. Ite ingowa te whaia ta matua te tama waiua tapu kita. Tihe ori ora. Let's do an undoing and a doing. And what this is going to do, these codes, Hunaflash used to call them the dragon riders. And so what these codes are, they are working through your DNA. They will go through the female lineage of your DNA, the male lineage of your DNA, and the potentiality, the child lineage of your DNA. So Tefaya, Tamatua, Tatama. Hey there, Hypnicity. How are you doing today? Te e a u u I a be u e o o p u ul un ai il ma eb nu e no to eb o ul un u a e te I a il u pe o e u be a il I un ul o eb tana e nu eb ma il I. And what that does is that helps to collapse stories, especially if you've got like negative stories or baggage. And I have yet to meet a human that doesn't have our little stories. But I'll see that even with animals that get adopted, or horses. People will have different stories that will follow them around. And so that sequence that we just did, that coding that we just did, helps to collapse those stories. It's scalar energy, and so what it does is it brings things down to the 0 point of potentiality. Actually, we're just going to scooch forward and go to the next slide. There we go. Hang out here with the ocean today. The moon is getting to me. I feel very uneasy. Yeah, that was just it. Very high tension. Very high tension this week. So this is Cape Perpetua in front of us. This is the Oregon coast, and this is quite a ways down the Oregon coast from where I am. It's very near to my first home on the Oregon coast, which is around Florence, Oregon. And so this is some of the headlands that is around Cape Perpetua and Heceta Head. And so it's supported with mist. I got the word supported in there. Yeah, it's a gorgeous area. If you get the opportunity to come visit, be very careful whenever you're visiting the Devil's Churn. I know a lot of people will go and try to walk extremely close to it, but as the water comes in, it literally churns, and it's very easy to lose your footing around that area. So stay on the marked paths and be mindful that the ocean, especially the waves that are coming in, very strong. I've got Cancer Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Venus with the Virgo rising. You absolutely need to ground. Hypnicity, I'm also going to give you the encouragement to look over your diet and ensure that whatever you're eating is also supportive this time of year. Hey, hi, humanity. I like that name. from Kentucky, the bluegrass state, where the temperature is cooler than normal. Wow, that's very unusual this time of year. So everything just kind of flipped. Lady Tracy, oh, how beautiful, has a YouTube channel, and she has an Arcturian guy named Daniel, and he gave a message that giant Lemurians are now on Earth. The giant Lemurians have actually always been on Earth. They are in the mountains, they are in the rocks. They are the Earth people, and they came to help with the shift. Have you heard about this? I have not heard about this specifically, but giving you the information that I have from my own um, instances with Hunaflash. He's the one that I learned the Lemuria from, and Hunaflash was Maori, and so he learned in the mystery schools in New Zealand, and so he was deeply connected to the Lemurian lineage, and that was exactly what got him started. Was he was speaking to the rock people, to the giants in the mountains behind his house whenever he was only 7 years old. And he ran inside and was telling his parents about how he had been talking out there with the giants, and that was how they knew that it was time to go ahead and place him in the mystery school to learn, because he was automatically doing it. Hi there, Diane G. Yeah, hypnicity. I am trying to eliminate sugar, or at least make sure that it's the organic cane. Perfect. And it's hard to do. It is hard to do, mostly because one, we're hardwired. Hey, hey, Annie Bear. We're hardwired for the sugar, and any mammal will do that. Will seek that, and yeah, it's if you're going to have sugar, please make sure, like she's saying, that it's organic, and that it's as supportive as you can possibly get it. If you're gonna make the effort to have it, then you definitely want to have the real thing. Don't go for artificial. Don't believe the marketing and the advertising that says that that the artificial stuff is better than. It's not. So last night I dreamed what was this? Two time jumps. Isn't that freaky? Yeah, it was so cool. Yeah. Yeah, when you blip through. Yeah, I've done time jumps in my regular reality, and it is so wild. But yes, there's a lot of time slips that have been happening. They've been happening a lot since 2020, but it kind of calmed down. But yeah, it's coming right back in. So it's pretty wild. And at first you're like, oh, was that real? But yeah, other times it's amazing. So here we go. Here we go. So 2 nights ago, I dreamed compassion light came out of my throat. I was told, be the compassion. Annie Bear, didn't Kitty Hees this week, didn't you guys have the throat chakra for your oracle card message this week? That would be incredible if that was. Kat says, I don't do sugar. Yep. And that could easily be, like Diane G is saying, that could easily be why you had the sore throat, because it could be the upgrade. And not only the upgrade, but it could also have been one of those things where you had to make the decision of if you were going to speak your voice or not, if you're going to speak your truth. And I love that you're doing it with compassion. That is beautiful. Ah, let me see. Actually, I wonder if I might have already shuffled the cards, but let me see. I'll go back through. We'll have to double check to see if that happened. Okay, wait a minute. Here we go. Let me dial through the cards. Uh-oh. I might have. It looks like I already shuffled them. Let me see. Ita, Fatura, Namu. Ooh, maybe not. Nope. Nope, nope. Unless it got shuffled, we'll have to go back through and relook. But it looks like Tawahi. See if I can. Yeah, Tawahi. It looks like solar plexus was the card for Kitty Hees this week. So that would be October babies. Isn't that perfect timing too? So let me see. Lori says, I have heard that we had two time jumps this week. One of the dreaming women had it on the YouTube channel. And there again, I'm going to give you a heads up. We have been time jumping so much, especially this year. We've gone back into the time slips. And so sometimes you will be um, pulled into something that you're doing, or my favorite is because I've had so much time whenever I've had these energy upgrades happening at nighttime with all these different light beings and the interdimensional beings, and they've been coming in and working on my Merkaba, and they've been working on my light body and absolutely everything. And it's exhausting. And so, especially the last few weeks or so, it has been a polar opposite. So instead of losing time and everything, it's been stretched out the opposite way. And so I've been actually regaining hours. So, like for an example, I'll fall asleep, feel like I've actually slept most of the night, roll over and look at it, and suddenly I'll notice that one of two things: either that the time has only gone maybe 1 hour before, or it's actually gone even further back. So, to give an example, say I went to bed at 10, felt like I slept the entire night through, woke up and it was only 8:30. Okay, that's a little crazy. So last night a man was singing baritone and I felt it through the floor. Oh yeah, beautiful, Annie Bear. That's gorgeous. Yeah, his tone filled the room. Whoops, lots of people all in brown. Beautiful. The Schumann resonance is wildly intense. Funny you should mention the right shoulder. I actually have had a little bit of trouble raising my right arm up over my head this week. And trying to think, no, it was the other shoulder that I injured quite a while back. Um, but there wasn't anything that I knew of that I had done that caused that. Yeah, and like you're saying, nothing lately. So all I can think is maybe it's stories or just old energies that are working their ways out. Wow, that's beautiful, Annie Bear. So that frequency was coming up from the room, his tone, and it reverberated through my feet. It sounds like you were having an activation. Yeah, my left shoulder only hurts when it's up and I move it down. I have had a few of the 1 hour time situations as well, even this morning. Yeah, you're channeling my husband's dislocated. Well, one would think, but whenever I do the energy healing right after I've finished, what I do is I completely clean and clear my entire aura and I disconnect from everybody because otherwise, what happens is I will carry things forward and that can cause a little bit of trouble. Yeah, Annie Berry, it might be sadness also for the tree that had to go because I know that was quite a huge change for you. It was a huge change for the entire environment. Yeah, but now she's in the altar, and that's just it. Sometimes they just need to be in a new form. And Annie Bear, what you're going to find too is her energy spirit will still remain there in that position. Kind of like I don't know if you ever saw that for the Curlian photography, but they would take a photo of a leaf after it had been torn in half, and the entirety of the leaf, the aura of the leaf was still intact. And so chances are good you'll be able to feel into the energy field around the altar now, and you'll probably still be able to feel that tree still intact. Oh my. Yep. And that is very sensible. I'm glad that they're doing that to give him plenty of time. Yeah, to some extent too, you'll see that behavior happen around people that have had an amputation. Sometimes they call them phantom pains. And so let's say somebody lost a hand or an arm. They may have a hand cramp or have pain in a hand that doesn't exist, but it's still there in the energy field and it's still affecting them. Yeah, I prayed hard for your garden. So I'll scooch you back and we'll see if people, does anybody need some energy balancing then? Because I can run the energy in the background while I'm chatting with everybody. I'll be. I met my twin flame on the 30th of March, and my life has been crazy, hard and lonely. Has things changed for you? Oh, hard and lovely. That's great. Oh, that's why you disappeared. Oh, that's really wonderful. Good for you. Absolutely. Okay. So I know that Hypnicity had already mentioned a shoulder, and a couple of us have already had some stuck shoulders. So we'll just start off up around the neck and the shoulder areas. Yeah, I'm probably not going to do an entire balancing, but I'll go ahead and do some energy work here, some spots, places. You're so welcome. I haven't. My husband shared it with me. We have to the south of us. There is the northernmost beach at Cannon Beach is called Indian Beach. I think either that or else it's just simply the North Beach. And anyways, when we first arrived here, we had three distinctive different elk herds that arrived, and thankfully um, the largest herd that was the most rough in personality migrated way north of us, never to return. And for a while, we had what we called the main herd, which was the older individuals. And then we had the teenagers. And the teenagers actually peeled off. The main herd went further north. Um, not by very much. At first, they'd come and visit with us, and we would be on this huge loop for them. But then they settled in, and they're mostly to the north of us. But the teenagers, they will come and hang out. And right now, they're hanging out down in Cannon Beach. So they were busy rocking it on the beach. Hey, Karen, how you doing? Long time no see, wait, woman. So we're just kind of doing some energy work in and around the shoulder blades, the neck. Yeah, it was pretty funny to watch because the elk were kind of touristed out. They'd had enough of summer, so they were reclaiming the beach for themselves. And I did see a funny video the other day. It was it was Yellowstone, and they have different. Oh, they look like boardwalks. They're wooden board walkways at different places in the park. And there was an extremely large bull bison that was coming across the boardwalk. And his front feet did fine, but boy, uh, that hind foot just kind of went right through the board. Since I've been, oh yeah, sleeping hard lately. That has been just what I've experienced as well. I would say most of the summer, I've been placed in a bit of a lull period and sleeping extremely hard. And just like you're saying, you're getting a decent recharge, and that is great. Okay, so we're gonna go down through the arms, upper arms right now. We're just gonna do both of them. Yeah, same, except for last night. Wide awake, I know, right? The energy's just been really electric, at least on the West Coast. Very chargy. Elbows. Ooh, down through the forearms and wrists, outer hands. Wow, it's a lot of congestion. Are we in for a harsh winter? I haven't heard. Hypnicity, the only thing I'm gonna say is I don't know about the winter, but, my cherry tree has already been given indications that there's going to be an earlier fall, at least for the Oregon coast. Me too. I love sleeping like a log. Yeah, if we're continuing to have the smaller quakes around the Ring of Fire, that is very good. Keep having the small. Yeah, that's what I've been aiming for. Yeah, I feel fall is setting in already. Same here. My trees are already losing their leaves, and I don't think it's from heat or drought or anything along those lines. It just I was surprised. Usually my cherry tree tends to be a pretty early indicator, and so it's like, nope, fall is coming. And I'm like, really? Oh, but that's the other sign too. My swallows. Normally, my swallows, my barn swallows, don't migrate out of here until end of September, going into October. I already got half of my flock gone. They've already peeled out of here. So there's only half of them left. And a few of them even cut out earlier this week. They were already leaving because usually what will happen with your barn swallows is you've got the main group that will call and then they head out and then they will have the babies and the stragglers come in about a week later. So yeah, I'm suspecting that we're actually going to have an earlier fall. I'm kind of I'm kind of sincerely hoping that our rains will hold off a little bit, but yeah, they'll come in, and whenever they come in, that'll be pretty much it. We'll have rain. Energetically feeling like we're in a limbo. We are actually in a bit of a limbo land. You can really feel the change of the energies right now. And I'm headed down towards the tummy area. Since we've come back up, I was class clown in the Catholic school. Yuck, yuck. And the shoulder plane may be from the nuns holding my arm. Oh no. And we had a 5.1 earthquake in the Philippines. Pretty respectable. Hopefully, everybody is. Thankfully, the epicenter was, oh, great. No tsunamis. That's great. And minimal damages. That's exactly what we're aiming for. My mother-in-law's hummingbird spirit, and it's interesting because last week was nothing but hummingbird messages, just left, right, and center. Um, my mother-in-law's hummingbird spirit showed up on her birthday on the 19th. That is such a blessing. That's so pretty. Now we're going to go down the spine and the back, lower back. A hummingbird flew right by my left ear the other day. I had a bug do the same thing. Wasn't a hummingbird, but boy, it was a pretty big sized bug. Sing! Thankfully, it didn't come back to do laps or something. They are so fast. The hummingbirds are. Hummingbirds are the tiny voice from heaven, and they represent the month of February. So February 1st through 28th, the tiny voice from heaven. That's Tirani. And the symbol of that is the hummingbird. And they do bring in messages from the other side. They will also bring in not just messages from our loved ones that have passed over, but they'll be bringing in all kinds of different messages. It's a moment when we can receive downloads. And sometimes with the downloads, you're not going to know what it is in that particular moment that you're having activated. In fact, I've had a lot of activations and a lot of upgrades that have happened over the last few years. Anytime that I've asked, especially whenever it's been an active one at night, the people that have been working on me, they'll never really even explain what they're doing. They're just, no, no, go back to sleep. Well, I was asleep until you woke me up doing your activations. And I think it was about 10 days ago. Beautiful. Well done, Diane G. Yeah, I'm down on the legs right now. I think it was about 10 days ago, though, that I thought I was looking at Arcturus. However, um, I'm thinking it was a visitor because the light from it was quite different than what I usually see with Arcturus. Tried to take a photo of it to share, but my camera just really wouldn't play ball. It was acting very strangely. And that's just it too. I mean, they might just have simply not wanted photographed at the moment. Said yes to mediumship. Beautiful. Well done. Yeah, you're going to receive a lot more messages. Highly recommend a reading with our own Diane G. Yay. Yep, the sun's edges are very different. Yeah, I took a photo of that not too long ago. It's under the posts. Hummingbird was headed straight towards my face. Isn't that alarming when they do that? Until I leaned back and then it just hovered in front of me. It must have been so still. Sometimes whenever that happens, what you can do is just open your mind and see if there's any messages that come in for you. And yeah, that's really, really cool. I'm around the knees now, in and around the knees. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. Diane, geez. Oh my goodness. They're so happy. And thank you. That's so sweet. And yep, the sun's edges are very different, very wavery. There's a lot of differences that are going on, especially in the night skies. There's been a few nights whenever we've managed to get some clear skies, and I've gone looking to see, and the same things happened again. Our skies are mostly empty except for the Big Dipper, Andromeda, who the Andromedans were very welcoming. And the rest of it is filled with Starlink. I think that's the name of the thing. Yeah, I swear I see the two suns in the morning. You probably do, Annie Bear. It's not unusual for me to see two suns, not unusual to see two moons. In fact, I try to avoid looking at the moon whenever I can because it's just plain weird. There's times whenever it rises and it takes a completely different arc in the sky from what it should. I also feel like I'm releasing ancestral lineage karmic energies according to Hunatama Ake. I am Namu, the essence of peace. Yes. And we are coming up to that as well. Yeah, Diane G, she's also a Namu. So anybody that is born September 1st through the 28th, you're the sign of Namu. And the symbol of that is the dove. The essence is peace. Wahi is the sun, and that is the stargate that will be for Namus. And at the moment, I am around the calves, headed towards the ankles. Ooh, wow, there's a lot trapped in those ankles. We're just going to drain it down towards Mother Earth, down through the heels, arch of the foot, all of the foot, all around the toes. Then we're going to do the ting points into Mother Earth. My feet have not been happy. Sometimes just soaking them in some Epsom salts or even just dangling them in some cool water will help. Because if you can't do the grounding with your feet outside, and I obviously it depends on where you're at. Sometimes you just really can't get outside into Mother Nature to do the grounding with bare feet on the ground. You can substitute with running water or just water, soaking them in the bathtubs, and the water will help to carry it as well. Ooh, now we're going to come up the inner calves, shin bones, back up into the knees. Some of these knees are just really TLCs. Ah, you're so welcome. Thank you so much for coming in, Annie Bear. Wawa Nui. Wawa. Up the inner legs, up the inner thighs. And for those, the reason I'm mentioning the where I'm at whenever I'm doing the energy healing is just some people are very sensitive to the energy, other people are not. So if that's part of why I call out where I'm located, where I'm working the energy, and you do not have to feel me to have this working. Your meridians are already responding to it automatically. I have been walking around barefoot and I got my new foot sucking bucket today. Oh, that's wonderful. Just have to try it out then. Up into the lap and back up into the tummy. A lot of times we stuff our emotions, our day to day stuff that we just cannot deal with. It gets shoved into our tummy spaces. So we're just going to make sure everything is nice and relaxed, easy peasy. Sometimes our tummies are so tight because we're stressed out and then you can't take a decent breath of air. We're just going to get that nice and relaxed off. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to go up into the lung space and the heart space. And if you've been lurking and you've fallen asleep, or if you're watching this on a replay and you've fallen asleep, that's okay. You haven't done it wrong. And a lot of times we will take a nap simply because it's easier for us to get our brains out of the way so that the energy system can reboot itself. You're just realigning your electrical system or your energy system. My lower legs and feet have been sloughing off extra skin lately. Year of the snake. Yep. Not just year of the snake. It's very common this time of year. A lot of times you'll have two big sheds. You'll see the same thing mimic with dogs and cats, birds too, where they are shedding off or shedding out their summer coat and bringing in the winter coat. And it's the same thing for humans. So there's times whenever you'll notice that you'll periodically have a shedding just like that. And yeah, it's very much a snake. This is a great year to assess, what no longer serves me and let it go. Or if it's bringing you joy, absolutely keep it. I'm going to come up underneath the shoulder blades again, going for the throat and the jaw, ears, teeth, roots of the teeth, sinuses, gums, tongue. We're going to give a little extra TLC to the throat. And we're going to change the color of the throat because somebody's got a really yellow throat. And I don't think that's the alignment that you're wanting. So we're going to bring in that beautiful sapphire blue. Just to change the frequency of that so it's more in alignment. Oh, how sweet. Lori saying my sinuses have improved. You're so welcome. And now we're going to go up into the eyes, all little ting points in and around the eyes. Oh no, I wonder if other namus feel like the rope in a tug of war. So you're really feeling the energies right now. Go up into the forehead, top of the head, all through the brain, calming the limbic system. That's your fight or flight or freeze. Just getting it soothed and calm. Bringing everything back into balance for you. Down through the spinal column and balancing the fluids all the way down the spinal column. There we go. Alrighty. There we go. So now the energy's been balanced. If you've done any yawning or sneezing, if your tears have been weeping, like a cry, but you don't really actually feel like you're crying, coughing, sneezing, burping, passing wind, and then kind of rare, but sometimes it happens where your limbs will just automatically stretch out. You can get yourself a drink of water because all of these are actually physical indicators that you've released toxins into your bloodstream. And don't panic. You've released gunk that has been trapped in your body, and so you just drink the water, and it doesn't have to be a ton of it. It can be even just half a coffee cup, so 4 to 6 ounces, to help flush that out of your body. Yep, drink more water. Yeah, and again, this month is Photo in Lemurian astrology, and so it speaks to purification. That's the essence this month. Yeah, that's a lot calmer now. I felt very relaxing. You're so welcome. Thank you so much for coming in, Diane G. I really appreciate it. Actually, Lori Hunsinger, Humanity, Malin. It's been great seeing everybody. Annie Bear. I'm so glad you guys came in and decided to hang out with me. Obviously, as the live stream says, this was very much an impromptu. I was feeling kind of agitated whenever we started off, so I thought that this would be very helpful for people today. And it gives me a chance to see if this time slot works well for people. Aw, thank you for coming in on this time. You're so welcome. I tend to be a morning person, so anytime that I feel the impulse to come in and try different times, it's definitely one that I try to follow. Alrighty, everybody. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. And I thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me And I hope you all have a really nice evening with your families. And I hope you have a really great, really relaxing night ahead. And feel free to come back to this. The energies that are in this are very much alive on the replays. So feel free to dip back in here and enjoy them again. You're so welcome, Melon. Thank you so much for coming. It would have been a very awkward uh, chat if if I'd been sitting here chatting with myself. But yes, thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you then again on Tuesday. Wawa nui. Bye.